Hello, welcome to ACE Manager. Planning and Performance Focus. ACE 36, MIS. Link between planning and performance monitoring. MIS is one of the most commonly used terms in business operations and management. It is also misused at times by calling any information which is shared with the management as MIS. In my last podcast on why plan at all, we said planning which does not enable performance monitoring is not effective. Then how is performance monitoring enabled? Simple way to explain this is to say that it happens through MIS. Thus, MIS has a specific purpose to serve. We need to go a few steps backwards to understand how MIS got evolved over the years. You would have noted from some of my podcasts that accounting and IT are interrelated. Accounting is nothing but classification of business transactions according to a set of guidelines which are first recorded in a chronological order. In its elementary form, it can be called bookkeeping. Accounting has two wings, financial accounting and management accounting. Examples of processes under financial accounting are invoicing, receivables, accounts payable, and financial reporting. Examples of process under management accounting are planning, budgetary control, costing, working capital management, and so on. Management accounting uses financial and other data to generate management reports. Nature of business and information needs of management determine content of such management reports. Management accounting, with the help of IT, generates MIS. We also call it Management Information Systems. In my podcasts on IT focus, you have seen how IT evolved over the decades. Just as the scope of IT and business applications increased over the years, scope of MIS has also got enhanced. MIS today is an effective tool in the hands of management for performance monitoring. To me, MIS broadly serves two purposes. They are for top management to drive performance and for operating management to improve efficiencies, effectiveness, and controls. To give you an example of driving performance, I like to draw your attention to my earlier podcast on quarterly operating plan, where a CMD had set stretch targets for his operating managers. Examples of efficiency improvement pertain to input-output relationships. With 10 tons of input, you may generate 9 tons of output or 8 tons of output. Farmer is more efficient. In power generation, yield per liter of diesel achieved against genset manufacturers' standards is another example. Then what is effectiveness? It relates to being able to realize the intended objectives. We can improve controls through MIS. Examples are developing exception reports on following lines. Suppose an organization wants to discourage advance payment to vendors and prefers to pay after supplies are received and accepted. An MIS report which says 5% of purchase orders released this month carried as advance payment terms against 8% of the previous month. Management can take right decisions and note that improving trend in the reports. When is profit made? When you sell the product in the market? No. You make profit when you manufacture a product on the shop floor and realize the profit on sale. Clarity of this concept will open up many opportunities for improving profitability through meaningful MIS on manufacturing activities. I like to share another dimension of MIS. When you see a report on non-moving inventory, general tendency is to scrap or dispose of such inventory. But the right question to ask the operating personnel is, what is the probability of using this inventory in future? If the answer is yes, do not scrap such inventory. Similarly, in a performance review meeting, when a manager is providing reasonable explanations for unfavorable variances, an appropriate question to ask is, how will the performance be in the coming quarter? And take his commitment. That is why I say way forward is better than too much analysis of the past. Of course, we need to know the reasons of non-performance, but greater focus should be on getting commitments on future outcomes. Concluding this podcast, I like to highlight 5 prerequisites for effective MIS. 1. Organization structure, roles and responsibilities, which help in percolating organizational objectives right up to the frontline operations through functions, departments, sections, and fix KRAs and KPIs for concerned stakeholders at all levels. 2. Information infrastructure on similar lines with profit centers and cost centers and IT systems that enable classification and capture of transactions for measuring outcomes. 3. Appropriate planning process up to a quarterly operating plan that sets realistic stretch targets for performance. A performance review mechanism that identifies unacceptable performance variances and helps in taking corrective and follow-up actions. 5. Last but not the least, an accounting process which helps in timely reporting on operating results against planned outcomes. Thank you for your attention.